Hey guys, how's it going? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 future cross rides that will be coming to Vanguard Zero soon. I guess before I begin, we're so close to our 100 sub goal. We're right now at 97, I believe, as of the recording of this video. So please, if you're a new viewer, do subscribe. It's really easy and really quick. It doesn't really affect you at all. All you're gonna do is see a lot of my spam videos just every single day, I guess. But do check out my videos and check out my channel and see if you do like anything, give me a thumbs up. If you do see any thing you don't like, thumbs down, and then tell me how I can improve if you do have the time. But anyways, let's begin. So for this video, in order to value these cards, more objectively, I guess, I will be using a metric system. So the first metric is value, right? Like how valuable is that card in the deck? How much impact does it bring when it's placed on the board? How effective is the skill? Is it overcosted, undercosted? What can it do? Second is synergy. How much synergy does that card have with the clan itself and the support it has? Like for example, in terms of just cross ride, right? Like, Dragon Overlord, the rebirth that we kind of mentioned in the reverse video, top 5 reverse video. Yes, it has synergy with the cards itself, a lot of Overlord support, as well as the Dragon Overlord itself. It's great. The one we have right now, it's great. But we're also going to get a break ride version, and also other than having multiple options for being the cross ride base, you also have other cross ride options like the end, which we'll still see play in the near future. So with more consistent cross ride numbers and with just straight up insane base vanguards, it has great synergy. Lastly, break ride. A lot of these cross rides that will be coming out in the break ride era are cross break rides. So what that means is you get to take advantage of the break ride value, and it has synergy with the cross ride, and also you get the cross ride base, 13k base, and we know how impactful that is offensively and primarily defensively, right? So anyways, without further ado, I guess let's begin with number 5, Silver Thorn Dragon Empress Venus Lucia. So just really quickly, the skill is Limit Break 4, Counter Blast 2 with Silver Thorn, Soul Charge 2, choose up to 5 Pale Moon units with the sum of their grades being 6, and then 6 or less, and then call them to separate rearguard circles, and you can only do this once per turn. It is cross ride with the Lucia that we're familiar with from set 6. And this card's great because if you think about it, first of all, Counterblast 2 is the same cost as the Lucia we are familiar with from 0, but Lucia was actually a Counterblast 3 card in the TCG, and what this means is that Venus Lucia could have a cost reduction. And that's really strong because Counterblast 2 to summon up to 5 is really insane value already. It has an additional Soul Charge 2 effect, which does help you with getting more units in the soul, so that means you have more options, as well as choosing up to 5 Pale Moon units is better than choosing up to 4 with the original Lucia. Of course, the sum requirement is different. Original Lucia lets you call 1 from 0 to 3, so you get to call 1, 0, 1, 2, and then 3. So that's 4 units. Now it's 5 units, and you get to choose to be more flexible with what you call out. So as we know in 0 format, grade 2 generally is the highest value in comparison to grade 3s. So you rather have 2 grade 2s than a grade 2 and a grade 3 if they are the same stats and the same skill, vanillas. But in this case, Venus Lucia lets you choose. If you do want the grade 3, you want your Alice's, you can still do that. If you want your Intercept, you can do that instead. If you want more grade 1s to do your purple trapezes tricks, you can do that too, right? It's just more flexible. In addition, it's not an ultimate break; it's a limit break for straight up. It doesn't have that requirement that Platinum Easel or Glory Maelstrom or the Blood has, and we know how much how much more effective they would be as a limit break 4. So I hope you can kind of take that perspective into mind when you value Venus Lucia. And she's a waifu, right? Enough said. Next is Hellfire Seal Dragon Blockade Inferno. So this card skill is a limit break 4, Counterblast 2 with Seal Dragon, retire all of your opponent's grade 2 rear guards, and then it gets plus 10 until end of turn. And then it is a cross ride with the blockade that we were familiar with from set 1. So we know how much Blockade was a pain in the ass when it came out. With just getting rid of your opponent's guarding option in terms of intercepts, and you not being able to guard from hand like the TCG only with PGs. We know how detrimental the feeling of losing a front row intercept is. Blockade Inferno does that, but on the next level as well. First of all, it's a crossfire number, and then while it is cost counterblast 2 instead of being costless, it does get rid of them permanently, and it's all grade 2 or less rearguards, not just your opponent's front row rearguards like Vermilion, for example. In addition, it also gets the +10, so after getting rid of your opponent's front row rearguards, your other rearguard columns can still hit, and then Blockade can still hit for 23 unboosted, so you can still hit numbers. Just a great solid card. Get removal of your opponent's board. Grade 1 numbers in Zero is also lower at 13. The optimal number is generally 14, 15-ish in the TCG. So definitely will be really impactful. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of Break Ride synergy with Dauntless Drive or Dragon of War with the Break Ride, respectively. So it does lack that. But as a card itself, it just does so much for its cost that definitely worth looking forward to if you are a Blockade fan. Third is Liberator of Bonds, Gancelot, Zenith. This card's skill is Number Break for counterblast 1 card with Liberator in this card name. Choose one of your grade 2 or less rearguards and put it on the bottom of the deck. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at the top part of your deck and search up to 1 Gold Paladin among them, call it to an open rearguard circle, put the rest to your bottom of the deck, and give it +10. And then it's a break ride with, it's a cross ride with the break ride Gancelot that just came out in JP in set 9. So a few things that I just want to note before I look into this card specifically. Gancelot itself, the break ride, already got a buff. It does search for Blaster Blade Liberator in the deck or the drop zone, on break ride. So you already get an extra +1 in terms of card value. So you can fill up your board, retire your opponent's intercepts with that Liberator, Blaster Blade Liberator, and we know how effective that is. With our experience with MLB, whether we're playing it or your opponent's playing it against you. Counterblast 1 is a really cheap cost, and it enables multi-attacking. So I think something similar that I can pull in to kind of reference would be Spike Brothers, with its multi-attacking. You get to put one back and then call something out, similar to Deadly Emperor, and we all know how impactful Deadly Emperor is. And the extra +10 also definitely helps. Deadly Emperor doesn't help your rearguards get extra power, so you do generally need to have boosters or have used their counterblast skills, counterblast 1+5 or soul blast 1+5 in order to hit the numbers. But Zenith itself does that for you, so you don't really have to worry about that as well. In addition, you can cycle out cards. A very niche situation would be you accidentally called out a PG, but you can still choose that PG, since it's grade 2 or less, and then put it back to the deck and then call something out, right? So you can reuse perfect cards if need be, if you accidentally call it from the top of the deck. And more importantly, Gancelot Zenith is also viable for a buff. A lot of Gold Paladin cards, used to say check top card and then call it, right? Like Easel. But even Easel got a buff to check top 4, call 1. So, it's not unbelievable that Gancelot Zenith can get a buff, become more consistent, and definitely, provide more effective multi-attacking tools for Gold Paladin. Just one last tangent, it's that multi-attacking already exists for Gold Paladin, through cards like Pelnor, not Pelnor, the grade 2 9K, that just, is not here right now with me, but that card has to hit your opponent's Vanguard, it has to counterblast 1 as well, and it's a rearguard itself, right? And it doesn't really help you empty out a spot to call out another rearguard. You have to just retire it, I suppose. So it's not that effective. It doesn't give it extra power to hit the next stage as well. So Zenith, definitely viable option, has great synergy with the break ride, is a cross break ride, and helps out Gold Paladins in terms of its offense. Next, one of my favorite cards that I talked about in the Broken Cards video as well, Revenger Dragruler Phantom. This card just casually deals your opponent 1 damage. You can do it multiple times a turn, and is just outright insane. Its skill is Liberate 4, Counterblast 1, choose 2 of your Revenger Regards, retire them, it gets +10, and if your opponent's damage zone is 4 or less, deal 1 damage. Your opponent does perform a damage check, but you know, I think that's pretty fair. It also has Break Ride as its base, Illusionary Revenger Mordred Phantom, which is, you know, the Shadow Paladin counterpart for Gancelot. That card, you know, helps you counterblast 1 and call out any grade 2 or less, I believe, Shadow Paladin from your deck. So it does help you filter, does help you, you know, get 1 Revenger if it needs to be from the deck to the field for the cost of Dragruler Phantom. It also gives that unit extra power to hit stages. It's just overall really great synergy with the cross ride itself, with the cross break ride itself. Dragruler Phantom, just, you know, the card by itself, right? Like counterblast 1, retire 2 to deal 1 damage, put your opponent to 5, push them for game, force them to use their PGs early on. You know, there isn't much to say about that skill. You know, guarding is already restricted in 0, and Dragruler Phantom makes your opponent's guarding options even more limited. So definitely a force to be reckoned with, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing this card. Our last card goes to a new clan, Genesis. Omniscience, Regalia, Minerva, and a lot of people are looking forward to this card, and undoubtedly one of the you know, the nicest cards that will be coming out in the Break Ride era. You know, its skill is Liberate 4, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 3, choose 3 Genesis from your hand and discard them. At the end of the battle, this card attacked. You may pay the cost if you do stand it, give it +5, and you can only do this once per turn. You know, if you have Regalia of Wisdom Angelica, which is a Break Ride, you get +2000, so it is a cross ride, of course. And this card's great because, well, in this metagame, there will be a lot of lock units in play. Like Link Joker is definitely going to be meta unless, you know, Game Studio decides to heavily nerf them. So being able to do stuff by itself is really important. In addition, the Break Ride lets you draw 3 cards, I believe, by Soul Blasting 3. Give it +10, so then Minerva actually hits 23 on the first attack and 28 on the second attack. Definitely, you know, great. Drawing cards are always great, especially with limited guarding options that we've discussed before. Multi-attacking, you know, just getting rid of intercepts and everything is going to be more prevalent. And Minerva's draw power definitely lets you get your PGs and protect yourself in the outcoming turns. And then if you do want to choose to be more aggressive, you can then use the Liberate. You know, we've seen, you know, Vanguard restanding abilities, you know, with the end, and we will see more of these into the future. But Minerva is definitely one of the cards that does supplement that offense-defense relationship better, with, you know, the draw power and the extra power that this card gets, in comparison to cards like the end that, you know, doesn't really get that extra 5k power to hit the next stage. So anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, tell me down below. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and check out my other videos as I talked about. And if you stuck around, I guess one last honorable mention could be the Blau Kluger chain and Ashura Kaiser. You know, it's really surprising that these 2 cards actually got, you know, cross-ride support, since they came all the way in the beginning from set 1 to set 2, but they will have cards that support them. Again, in terms of synergy, you know, like they do restand units as Nova Grappler does, but not being able to hit numbers is, you know, detrimental. You know, and other cards like Gancelot Zenith does that better because it, you know, cycles through, helps you filter, and also gives it the extra power to hit the next stage, right? And then in terms of the Break Ride, like Ashura Kaiser doesn't really work well with, you know, either the Blau Kluger Break Ride or, you know, the Beastieater Break Ride, because your goal is to restand, and then, well, your units are already restood, so, you know, what are you doing? And Blau Kluger, you know, it's like, if your Vanguard or rear card hits, you counterblast 2, pay the cost, and then you restand your Vanguard column. But your Break Ride says, you know, when it attacks, stand everything. Like, it's great because it guarantees you that you hit like 3 or 4 attacks a turn, but will you even hit those numbers by the time you know, you deal a few damage and your opponent hits a few damage checks or trigger checks. We will have to see, definitely have to see, but in theory, I don't think that this type of multi-attacking has, you know, a strong place in the metagame moving forward, especially with cross-ride members. So I guess that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!